Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Good morning, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning. 6 fantastic goals last night, and what a game it was. What a way to finish up league business for a few days and head into the Champions League. It sets down a marker for the Champions League. We've been on goal scoring form. We've scored 33 goals in 9 matches, and it could have been 34, but they chopped it off site with VAR. Terrible decision, I thought, but it is what it is, and we head off to Germany tomorrow morning and the Champions League. Yes, the Champions League, the biggest stage on the planet. And even though that Dyson Maida did eventually get a goal in the second half, we got a double from Kyogo Furuhashi. And what's unbelievable to think that Kyogo hasn't scored away in the SPFL in almost a year. Paulo Bernardo scores an absolute screamer from the edge of the box. Callum McGregor scores an equally impressive screamer from the edge of the box. One that was done from the training pitch, and you could see the manager turn around to young Strachan and high five him, because that was straight off the training ground. It worked. It was a fantastic goal, and it's good to see the way that Celtic are mixing it up this season. Celtic have taken things to a completely different level this season, which is remarkable. I did speak to a guy that has property over here, a Johnstone fan, and he says that there's no one. He reckons that no one can stop Celtic this season. He says that he wouldn't be surprised if Celtic went unbeaten all season. He was on the live before the game. He jumped on and he said, "Look," he says, he reckoned it'd be 7 tonight, and he's looking forward to this new Irish manager that they're getting in. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Anyway, Adam Ida came on, completing a dominant display for Celtic. Absolutely fantastic goal by him also. And now it's to the Champions League. We need to go to a ground, and let's face it, we need to face that yellow wall. Some Celtic fans, this is a dream come true. Heading to Dortmund to see a game and to see that fan base, that amazing Ultras fan base, and that wall of noise that will come from behind their goals. The Saints were simply just like nowhere near the running. A change of formation, a change of tactics for them wasn't going to do anything, if anything, that kind of rattled Celtic. The fact that the first goal was disallowed, as I said, I thought that if they scored first, and I didn't want them to score because clean sheet Kasper Schmeichel has equalled a 118-year-old record at Celtic. Whilst Aberdeen are still sitting second top, Celtic are ahead on goal difference, and it's a mighty goal difference, it has to be said. But when you look at it, it's fair play to Aberdeen. Because they're still up there. They are still up there. When you look at the table, Aberdeen are sitting on 18 points. They're sitting on a goal difference of 8, which is a bit precarious because the team behind them is sitting on a goal difference of 5. I'd like to see Aberdeen just increase that goal difference slightly. Even though this morning they are 8 points. Let's just get that there. They're still 8 points in front of the Rangers, and it would need a capitulation of a massiveness for Aberdeen to lose these points. And I want Aberdeen to really be up there fighting. I want Aberdeen to finish second, to be perfectly honest. And Motherwell are sitting in joint third position on 10 points also this morning, but they have played one more game than that team from across the city, who I think, did they play Hibernian today? Looking at that, yeah, it must be Hibernian that they play today. But anyway, it is what it is. Celtic are top of the league. It's all about Celtic. We've played 3 at home, and we've got a goal difference of 9 at home. Played 3 away, and we've got a goal difference of 11. We've got a goal difference of 20 altogether. A fantastic start to the season. Brendan Rodgers has done something that we knew he had it in him as a manager, and it just goes to show. Oh, just buzzing for today. It just goes to show. Give the manager the money that he wants and let him bring in the right players. We can all say, we can all look back to last summer and the 9 players that were brought in and the project players. And you can see the way that the performance went. It was a new manager last season, and there wasn't too many changes. Even Joe Hart said it. He said it wasn't until we got till about the January time that Brendan Rodgers started tweaking the team from the way that Ange Postecoglou played, which was interesting because a lot of last season, people were saying, "Oh, it's boring Brendan ball, it's side to side, passing, passive, shitty football." Well, where are all the doubters now? When you go onto the Facebook page, I mean, everybody's over the moon that Brendan Rodgers is back. There will still be some people out there that said, "Look, you should never be back, never be back." Um, and it was said to me last night, just wait till a Wolves or somebody like an Everton or somebody like that in the Premier League come calling for him. And I've said it before, Brendan Rodgers will not walk away from this contract. He will not leave Celtic early. He's halfway, just about halfway into, well, just under halfway into his 3-year deal. And I expect him to stay the full 3 years. The worrying part for Celtic fans will be if can we get him to stay after that? And then what happens if he doesn't? What happens if he doesn't? Who do we go for? But we've got 2 seasons to go for then, till then. And Celtic are going to be record breakers. Yes, we're going for 55, officially going for 55. But you got to say, fair play to Aberdeen. I mean, they're breathing down our neck on 18 points. Anyway, the interim boss, Andy Kirk, says this will define Celtic's season after that 6-0 thrashing. I said it was going to be 4-0. He says whether you can bounce back after something like that, undoubtedly that would determine how we go on. After the break, Callum McGregor, Dyson Maida, Adam Ida just turned the game even more painful as far as they're concerned. Adam Ida was on target as Celtic thrash. Sorry, St Johnstone is one of the headlines coming out of Ireland. Celtic won their first 9 matches of the season, scoring 33 goals, and the 33 goals in the process this early on in the season is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, and we all know that Brendan Rodgers likes to sit down on the eve of the Premier League, and he sits and he says, right, what are we going to achieve? What's our targets for this season? And obviously it'll be, well, we want to win everything in Scotland. We want to win the league. And we want to win it in style. So we're going to start off as we mean to go on. And we want to win the Scottish Cup because it has a vast importance in Celtic's history as a big cup that we've won. And then we want to win the League Cup because that's the one that we missed out on last season. And I think that the team, when they got beat by Kilmarnock last season in the first round, really hurt the players. And I think that hit their confidence last season early on. It's where we're on a run just now. And it's a case of it's all going to come down to the 2 Aberdeen games. We play Aberdeen in the semi-final at Hampden. We then play Aberdeen in November. And I think it's just going to be a fantastic time. It will tell how good and how hungry this team is for success if we demolish Aberdeen, our closest rivals. Yes, Aberdeen, our closest rivals in the league. And then go on to Hampden. There is no stopping Celtic picking up the trophy, and no matter what anyone else will say. Gail Gofuri actually struck twice and continued the fantastic start to the season with that thumping. The Japanese forward scored either side of Paulo Bernardo, and Paulo Bernardo's strike. And what's your thoughts on Alex Valle this morning? Because he was brought on for Greg Taylor at half time. Brendan Rodgers says that we're on a run of 17 consecutive victories. 17. And the Spaniards' flick to set up Adam Ida for the 6 was just sublime. I think that we've got a young player there. And I did say when he came over from Barcelona, you're not on 24 grand a week at Barcelona and kicking about just on the outskirts of the first team for no reason whatsoever. They've got him on that fantastic wage to try and show that he is a player and that he's a chance to get into the team. Now, Brendan Rodgers, talking about the Greg Taylor situation, Brendan Rodgers said his decision to withdraw Greg Taylor at the halfway point was a bit of a surprise, but then he did go over and he was speaking to the referee before the end of it. He was doing what Greg Taylor does. I mean, we need to get Greg Taylor. If we've got any ambitions of keeping Greg Taylor, we need to get this deal done and dusted because we're going into October now. The transfer window opens in January, and Greg Taylor can talk to anyone he wants in January. So come on, Celtic, tell me in the comments section, should we be giving Greg Taylor a new contract? Or should we just go out and spend the money on Alex Valle from Barcelona, who is a younger version and did himself no harm with a fantastic performance in the second half? There was question marks why Taylor came off. And speaking after the match, he says, we had Greg felt a tightness in his calf after the first 15 minutes. So it's just precaution that we take him off and put Alex in. And yeah, we hope that it should be fine. And obviously, it just allowed us to manage some of the other players as well, which was good because Alex coming on, he did himself justice. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, he's crap," and you can never judge a Celtic player on their first game at Celtic Park, and especially one of such importance in the cup and the way that Falkirk came at us. Taylor's been a key part of Celtic since manager Ange Postecoglou, the previous manager Ange Postecoglou, came into the club. He upped his game. A lot of people were saying then, when Ange came into the club, get rid of Greg Taylor. Now, those people have gone as well now, and they're not saying get rid of Greg Taylor because he's one of the first starters on a week-to-week basis. When you had the likes of a South American come in, Alexandro Bernabe coming in from Argentina, and good money, way more money than what we paid for Greg Taylor, incidentally. But he couldn't get Greg Taylor off the pitch. He couldn't get him, and Greg Taylor just keeps on upping his game. Taylor has been dependable, and go back 4 years, and people weren't really saying that about him. So tell me in the comments, do you think that Greg Taylor should get a new contract, and how long should it be for? Because when Callum McGregor went off, it was interesting that he gave the armband to the one and only, yes, Alistair Johnstone. People have been saying that Alistair Johnstone is your next captain. He is captain material. And it was interesting that he did go over and give him that. But anyway, some of the players took to Instagram. Some of the players did take to Instagram after the game. Yes. And I'm sure the excitement for the players will be up there. First up was Kyo Furuhashi. He reposted his goal from the Celtic Instagram page, and then the Celtic Instagram page. I'll just get onto this. Did quite a few. Obviously, the starting 11, which Trusty was in, and we did say that Kuhn, Maida, and Kyogo would start up front. There's a manager walking into the ground. Kick-off. Goal. Kyogo gets the first goal in the 35-minute mark. Paulo Bernardo, great finish, says Celtic. And then Kyogo again, 45 minutes. A goal. It's Kyogo. Kyogo again. Another goal from distance from the captain. Fantastic one that was. And then Daizen Maeda, he gets his goal. He gets his due reward for the game yesterday. An absolutely brilliant one from Adam Ida also, and it finished 6-0. And let's move on to Greg Taylor and see what Greg Taylor said. He just posted the one from Dyson shot because it was Greg Taylor that crossed the ball in. As we remember, Dyson Maida puts up his goal celebration. Nico Kuhn, he had a good game, didn't he? Nico Kuhn's some player, and he'll be raring to go in Germany. He will start in Germany. And then Sinisalo gets in on that. He was back on the bench for the game, and he puts up the 6-0. And then he's got his big man Kasper. Big man Kasper. Kasper Clean Sheet Schmeichel. Tell me what you think about Kasper Clean Sheet Schmeichel, because he is a player that he's just brilliant, isn't he? He is just brilliant. He had a few saves to make, and he needed to make them. I just hope that this clean sheet run goes on, and he goes on to set himself a target that will be hard for any other keeper to beat. For the fact that we've matched a 118-year-old record, I want Kasper Clean Sheet Schmeichel to go on, and even if he hits around about 10 games before, but can we go even further? Can the Celtic team, how many games realistically can we go into the league before someone scores against us? But all eyes now head to Germany. Fans will be making their way to the airport today to start the early ones that are booked the early flights to get over to Germany. A lot will be heading over tomorrow to make their way to Germany. The team will head over on Monday, and I've got to say, I'm absolutely buzzing for it. If Celtic can get anything out of the game at all, I mean, a draw would be fantastic. If we sneak a win, wow, what a statement of intent that would be. Before game day 2 even starts in the Champions League, we have to remember that Celtic are second in the Champions League as it sits. As long as we don't get an absolute mauling, and I'm going to be really positive and think that this will be the season that we do something in the Champions League, and I've got a funny feeling. And if we don't, let's not forget it is the Champions League, and you've got to remember that though the team that we're playing is one of the top teams in the Champions League, and if we don't get the result, don't be too hard on yourself, because it was always going to be the game. It was always going to be the game that everyone thought, nah, you're not going to get nothing for that. But the forum that they are in, and the forum that Celtic are in, it all looks like it's going to be a fantastic game. The fact that even if Cameron Carter-Vickers is not fit, Austin Trusty played another 90 minutes yesterday. Brendan Rodgers thought he was excellent. You've seen his pace. A lot of people were saying before on the game, look, he's a left-sided defender. Why is he playing in Cameron Carter's position? Get Rocky on. Well, it shows you that Trusty is way better than Rocky, I think. I mean, Rocky's been here for a season and a bit now, and he can't get anywhere near this team. Trusty's come on. He had power. He was unlucky in front of goal. I thought if he'd scored the goal, I know a few people on the channel that would have been over the moon. He's playing off the right side, so he's got a good balance in the game, says Brendan, and he's more than happy with the way that the defender. He says so. If Cameron is not available, Austin Trusty did do very well in the game against St. Johnstone, and everyone's going to say, look at St. Johnstone, this is a different kettle of fish, this game in Germany. But if Cameron is not available, then we have someone that can come straight into the team, says Brendan Rodgers. So the most competitive game of the season comes up on Tuesday evening. The efforts from the players have been absolutely fantastic so far. Liam Scales just keeps on doing what Liam Scales does. Greg Taylor, let's hope that he's fit for the game. But if he's not, Alex Valle is more than capable of replacing Greg Taylor in Germany. If we've got a chance to make it a mistake-free night in the Champions League, we'll get better results than we did last season, because it was silly mistakes that cost us games. Just like loose lips cost merchandise. On a positive note, we're in a good place. We're on a positive note. We're in a fine form, a goal-scoring run. This team is about to find out how capable and how competent they are for the highest level of domestic football in the world. The Champions League is back. Full-time whistle has gone on the league this week. All eyes are set on Germany, and we will be completely buzzing. And unfortunately, I'm away for a few days, so there's not going to be as many videos, but we will try and get at least one or two to get us buzzing and to get us absolutely ready for this game Tuesday. There will be a live before the game on Tuesday evening. There may be one Tuesday morning if I can fit one in. But if not, as soon as I get back on Tuesday, I'll absolutely hammer YouTube all day on the Tuesday in the pre-match before the game. Are you buzzing yet? And on that note, have an absolutely fantastic day. And yes, the merch order came in last night. Did you guess? It's brilliant. I love it. I absolutely love it. Have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, all around the world. Roll up to the